So when I joined Ekahau back in 2002, it was an RTLS, 100% RTLS company, and I joined as an RTLS field engineer. So I've learned a lot, seen the upsides, but also seen how difficult it is to deploy RTLS. And this is kind of going the full circle, because Ekahau Site Survey is actually a product that was accidentally born because we needed some RTLS planning capabilities in the tool, or RTLS survey capabilities. So now we're taking the full circle, and not to make this demo overly long, you already know what it's about. So with Wi-Fi engineers having to plan obviously for Wi-Fi APs, but now also having to plan for BLE, we thought, met with Kimberly and Özer and Joey Fetchy, biggest BLE deployment I think out there done by Joey. So we thought okay, if these are the same guys already using our stuff, why not help them out with our tool? So in fact, Kimberly hyped me up a bit too much. I'm not going to announce a new product. This is just a prototype version or beta version of Ekahau Site Survey with some BLE planning features included. So what we've done is basically for the APs that have a Bluetooth radio, we've just added a third radio in those APs. And as you're planning for Wi-Fi coverage like normal, and as Devin would do it, like every 1,000 feet, right, roughly, we're going to put the APs out there. And there we go, just to avoid ghost frames, right, Ben? So here we have a Wi-Fi plan, and the thing is now, it's great for Wi-Fi, or is it? I don't know, but I'm not a Wi-Fi designer. But the question is it good enough for example, to hear 3 Bluetooth APs everywhere? So there's a new heat map here called Bluetooth coverage, which only shows the coverage for the coverage and overlap, like a combination of coverage and overlap for BLE beacons. So the more beacons we add, or more APs we add, the better. So here's the coverage for 3 BLE beacons when we have a fairly sufficient voice Wi-Fi coverage on the floor plan. And you can see where this is going, right? So it's not sufficient, it seems, for accurate Bluetooth tracking. So what we're going to do is, instead of placing more APs, which would probably kill the network, I'm just going to put in Aruba beacons. So observe, whereas those guys had 3 radios, these guys only have 1, right? There's only the BLE radio in there. And they're still kind of treated like access points, so they have their elevation and azimuth coverage patterns, it's all there. The transmit power is by default what it is by default. For example, in Aruba, it's very much configurable. But with this, you can fill the area with beacons. And of course, the beacons, sometimes when you want super good accuracy, which I just saw last week at a BLE deployment, that was an Aruba deployment, awesomely good accuracy. What they had done is place the beacons at the receiver level, at the phone level, to maximize the accuracy. So of course, you can fine-tune all that stuff. Even if your APs are in the ceiling, you can put your beacons here. You get the idea, right? And this also allows you to produce a report for customer that, here's my AP deployment, here's my Bluetooth deployment, here's my AP coverage, here's my Bluetooth overlap, you name it. Simple stuff like that. Any questions on that? We'll actually take them later too. I don't have too much stuff. But so that's the Bluetooth planning. What else do we have? And to answer the first obvious question, for now, planning only. So we don't really know. I don't think Cisco or Aruba or anybody knows how well Bluetooth is going to, BLE is going to take off, right, for location tracking purposes. We've had ultrasound, we've had infrared, we've had Wi-Fi, we've had exciters, and let's see, maybe Bluetooth will be the winning technology. We don't know yet, so we didn't implement the survey features yet. Fair enough. To the presentation, it's called Ekahau's new stuff. I'm Jussi, I run janitorial duties at Ekahau, so I make Mikko and the other guys coffee. I make Manish coffee when he gets tired with coding, so that's what happens. First of all, can we have a standing One time for this guy here. Always so modest. But I mean, it is a big deal. Look at this. You've done something quite remarkable. So this is actually us at the boot camp. How many of you were at the boot camp over the weekend? Quite many of you. You like it? A third of you guys. It was awesome, wasn't it? So this is us 3D freaking printing with Robert Boardman. So one more hand to all the boot camp instructors. I mean, these guys, they're not making money really out of this. They're just making it for the good of the community. So thank you. Thank you. And, you know, I'm a pretty geeky guy, but seeing something tangible, this is like from scratch. I had an idea coming to the boot camp, the 3D printing boot camp, that I have a really old car which doesn't have the original stereo, and the original stereo costs $1,500. So I was like, that's crazy, I want to build that. So the end result is here. I modeled this, I printed the damn thing. It's not painted yet, but it's like, looks like the actual thing. So Robert Boardman, where are you? Thank you. Zero experience on anything. Now I know at least, you know, how to press Control P. Hey, question, who from Ekahau is here? Because I saw Jan Weibo coming over, then I saw the marketing ladies come over. Can you please raise your hands if you're from Ekahau? There's Mikko, Senior Director of Product Management, Jerry Alla, now Product Manager, Joel Prain, Potato Land Technical SC. Who else? Manish, Senior Software Developer or Architect, responsible for a lot of things with ESS. Tommy, he heads the software development. Then we have Sandra, Marketing. We have Nicole, Marketing. And yeah. And we have Jan Weibo, Director of Technical Services and Training. So any one of these guys, girls, just go and grab them by hand and talk to them, if you have any questions. Then another question regarding Ekahau site survey. So who here is using Ekahau products today? Can you? Yeah. It's who chooses to use some other software besides Ekahau? Ben Miller and the three other guys. Love you, Ben. Very good. So those three of you don't stop. I mean, we need seriously. The competition is good and it keeps us on our toes. About tonight, so we are hosting this event tonight. This is from last year, and this is what we are doing tonight as well. And we will all be there, and the idea is that we'll just have some snacks and drinks, and also we'll be recording testimonials, right, Sandra and Nicole? So those, since there's a couple of Ekahau users here, if you're not completely dissatisfied with the product, or actually if you are, then come on. I invite also Ben Miller to come and you should record a video testimonial as well. Anyway, so Sandra and Nicole have stuff for those guys, Ekahau swag for those guys willing to do testimonials. So go talk to them if you want to record a testimonial. I know there's already a couple of people signed up, but can you one more time raise your hands? Yes, so if you want Ekahau swag and if you are not afraid of video cameras, go there. So that's going to be the party or not. So this is, we know it's going to end up like this. Okay, so we talked about the testimonial. So couple of best practices about the testimonials, okay? Don't be too cheesy. So I mean, I made it to the elite team and I'm making $19 million now. No, don't do that. And also this kind of stuff. And don't be realistic. Be like this guy here. I mean, this is an actual product on Amazon. He says, excellent product. I found the Large Hadron Collider to be particularly useful on long hikes. So that's a very specific, good testimonial, okay? And I mean, if you're going, you know, another example would be a movie. Funny movie, except for the part where the pregnant wife laughed so hard, she peed on my couch. Very specific, testimonial, tangible benefits or not benefits. Also, one more example, Nicolas Cage pillowcase. So it's Nicolas freaking Cage. Who wouldn't want this, right? So that kind of testimonials, that's what this is a technical conference, right? And you wanted more technical content, so this is what I'm giving you guys. Think about it, 20 minutes of your time like on Nicolas Cage pillowcases. Nothing wrong with that. So as I was looking at this at 5 a.m. this morning, it turned out this is a thing. So there's more of this. Seriously, that is an actual pillowcase for sale, as is this. Just for the record, it's not from my bedroom, okay? And this is one of my personal favorites as well. I like the look. And then there's this. And finally, this. I don't know how much action this guy is getting in his bed, or girl. Anyway, where were we? Sorry. Just wanted to, like, Keith sets up these conferences. He's also an AP reseller and, you know, does 6 conferences per year, designs networks for a living. He also, how many ECSCs are here? Wow, that's very nice, like at least a good third. So Keith also happens to head our training program. You have a few guys under you, but I mean, it's just unbelievable the stuff you do. So kudos to that. Anyway, so coming back to the topic, I promised you new products. I don't have new products. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but you can leave now. There isn't a big product launch. People kept asking me, like, what's the big product launch? I oversold it. There really isn't much. But let's talk about the few things that are new with us. So first of all, this is of course fairly new, announced like 4 or 5 months ago. It's the Sidekick. It's a Wi-Fi measurement device. For those of you that don't know, you wear it instead of using it like a dongle on your laptop. And yeah, so if we look inside the Sidekick, can I actually do this? Yes. Yes. So in here, a couple of Wi-Fi adapters. So to have better quality, we needed to use mini PCIe. That's the bus, and these are the kind of adapters they use in enterprise APs. Then there's the spectrum analyzer here, also mini PCIe, but a bit further apart from the Wi-Fi adapters, and shielded, all of that. And here's the processor. And why do we need such a big processor is to process the spectrum analyzer stuff that comes out of there, because there's quite a lot of stuff coming out, and if we send it directly to the laptop would basically die. And so here's another thing. There's a couple of things we haven't really talked about inside the Sidekick. All I'm saying is we're not announcing new products. All I'm saying is the device is operating system independent, and there's also a 128 gigabyte hard drive, for example, the unit that we're not using. There's also a Bluetooth receiver transmitter that we're not currently using, that we might be using in the future. One obvious example would be the Bluetooth surveys, but you know, we don't really know where BLE, you know, how widely it's going to be deployed, so that might be one option to use it for. So I wonder if I have the Sidekick running here. Let me see if I have could do a quick demo on it or not. Let's see. At least we have audio. So I think there's somebody here today who's going to have a presentation on how to start Ekahau in 12 seconds, if that didn't happen. Who is it? All right, I look forward to that, man. So mine will boot up faster after that as well. So I'm going to fire up the Sidekick 2. How many of you have not seen the product live? Like a good third again. So real quickly on what it is about. So the thing is, you connect the Sidekick to the laptop via USB cable, you fire up the Sidekick, and it takes another like 15 seconds to boot, and then it's ready to go. So there's basically no, driver installations, no USB hubs, things like that. It just, eats one USB slot out of your laptop, and that's about it. So let's look at the spectrum analyzer. Oh, I don't seem to have a... Here we go. Much better. So here's the spectrum analysis of the thing, and that's essentially how it works. This is a development copy, so anything may happen, but it is what it is. So you can see 2.4 gigahertz channels fairly occupied, and radios on those channels. 5 gigahertz very, very underutilized. So I think there's no 5 gigahertz APs on the hotel network. It's 2.4 only, was it? Oh, there is some? Okay, actually we can see that here, right? Yeah, there's conference center, Ruckus Wireless, conference center, yeah, there is some. At least in my room there was 2.4 only, and even that was fairly weak. So but 2.4 obviously very crowded, and I'm just gonna fire up a wireless video camera here. Even more crowded. And this is one of the new things we're working on. So interference detection, you can see the video camera popping up here. It's still in the works, but it's definitely something we are aiming for. And while we were looking at that, while we were looking at the video camera, you could see that what happened to our adapter. When I turned on the video camera, and this is a pretty cool view that I think is fairly underutilized. Thank you, Keith. Yeah, I guess I deserved that. So anyhow, so let's fire up the video camera again and see what happens. So there's a timeline here at the bottom where we can see the signals of the APs, and we can see the connection of the client. So this is an active actual connection of the client. And if we move the video camera between different channels, of course, if the client is not on the affected frequency, nothing happens. But since the client is on channel 11, and we fire up the video camera on channel 11, you can see both, okay, there's the video camera, and oh shoot, my client actually dropped off the network. Because it cannot connect, obviously, because I'm jamming. I'm interfering with the client device. But this is an underutilized feature of the RTFM 2.0. And now we can also see that the client device is back online. Often you also see the client device, for example, roam to a different frequency, like 5 gigahertz from 2.4 at this point, but I forced my client to be on 2.4. And how did I do that? I just went to device manager, client properties. Many people here know how that's done. So that's kind of the interference detection stuff. That's one of the cool features of the new RTFM. It also has a bigger waterfall view at the bottom. It has a big waterfall view here, and just overall optimized for the Sidekick. So one cool thing I wanted to show you guys is also, I don't know if this is going to work live, but let's see. So how many of you already listened to a podcast by Rowell and Francois? Where's Francois? Francois? Hey man, how's it going? We need to talk. I don't think we met face to face, or have we? Probably not. Anyway, very well done with the podcast. These guys have like 7,000 listeners, and I was thinking, like, how do we translates what Sidekick does, the fast frequency updates and you know, the accuracy, into a podcast. So what I told one of our developers is, hey, here's a crazy idea. We just like, you know, the software Winamp. Winamp is a music player. Winamp converts music into a spectrum analyzer. You remember that? We did it vice versa. So think of spectrum analyzer as a set of keys on your piano. And let's see if we can get this to work and if I have audio. Sorry guys, that's frequency right here. So let's turn on the video camera again. Different channels, different frequencies. Oh, that's somebody's jammer right there. Wasn't quite loud enough for this. You can also see what happened to my client. It immediately dropped off the network. What about Bluetooth? Can we do Bluetooth? Let's see. It's a pretty noisy environment. Here we go. You can hear the small beeps around the frequency. That's Bluetooth right there. Anyway. Enough of bugging you guys, but the point was, to show the capabilities of spectrum analysis, and especially like, you know, traditional versus faster spectrum analysis. I wonder if I have anything here that would illustrate that point. Let's see. Here we go. So, when Wi-Fi is idle, and this is after a lot of tuning, we also had a version where you could also hear idle Wi-Fi, and we tried it out, and it kind of sounds cool, but to get the meaningful stuff out of it, let's start uploading some files here. Or are we? Stuck for now. Why is that? Can we play that? I can't see my mouse, but... Okay. Okay, I'll play it from here. Sorry, guys. Use a Mac, yeah. Thank you. So here's a traditional spectrum analyzer, just for comparison, just to illustrate the differences. That's a 2.4 gigahertz video camera right there. And this is a narrow band, which is heard every now and then. You get the point, right? Oh, we lost sound. Did we? I hope not. So here's Bluetooth. Non-Wi-Fi video camera, this we already tried. This is the motion detector that we saw previously on the traditional analyzer. So you can zoom in as well. And when you wave your hand in front of the motion detector, it actually changes frequency slightly. So if you wave your hand, it's crazy. And then frequency hopping device. Point being, maybe somebody could actually write a song using this with a hack RF. How's that for a boot camp for next year? Or not? Anyhow, enough of bugging you guys with the sounds. What else do we have? How much time do I have? 5 minutes? Perfect. We looked at the signature edition already. What else? We looked at the BLE. So the BLE stuff, in a couple of weeks, we will probably start sending out betas. So once, you know, if you have big BLE deployments or smaller ones coming, especially on Aruba infrastructure in the beginning, we'd love to hear more about that. And then I just wanted to highlight this. This is a quote from Jerry from this morning. That so part of the reason we're not announcing anything today is we're trying to get our quality really right as well. So we recognize that ESS is a pretty big piece of software, and we need to work hard also on the quality matters. So stay tuned for those, big new products and features. They will come, but also we're trying hard not to forget the quality issues. And of course, when you see those, contact our supports. Come, grab us by the hand and. See you there. Also, if you want to talk about the next release, 9.13, it's coming out at some point when it's done. Yeah, when it's done and in good enough shape. But this is the kind of the release or the feature list for that, and there aren't really any features there. It's just fixing the current things that you guys have found. And speaking of guys who find bugs, this is the Ekahau Masters group. Ekahau Masters, please raise your hands. Thank you for your contribution. For example, for finding things in our software, and especially helping us with the roadmap, helping us make Sidekick what it is. It wouldn't definitely be what it is. And since we didn't have any swag packs for the Masters, last year, 2017 Masters also have bags waiting for you. So outside we have a few boxes that have backpacks for you guys. Thank you for your contribution. So this is what we do with the Masters. We go basically sightseeing around the world. Live in luxury hotels and go sheep hunting and get wasted. So in case you're interested, go to ekahau.com/master and send your application, because every year half of the masters stay, and we get 10 more. So we try to circulate the group a little bit, because otherwise it would be just the old boys club, and it would be me and Sam drinking whiskey in the middle of the night somewhere, and that's it. I have no problem with that. Time permitting, I was also going to show a cool demo about airtime utilization and how to use that for teaching your customers what to do and what not to do, like enabling, disabling data rates and things like that. But just on your all I'm saying is that on your predicted network or measured network, you can take the airtime utilization heat map of ESS, you can throw in the number of clients that you're going to see there, and then you can play with the number of SSIDs, the minimum, maximum data rates, and especially, most importantly, and I wrote a blog about this like 4 or 5 months ago. Most importantly, I was surprised, but the factor that affected capacity the most was the transmit power difference between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, at least according to our capacity simulator. So you can mess up the network pretty bad, or let's put it this way, you can make up a really good network, but if you don't play with the transmit power differences, your clients will likely have the tendency to gravitate towards 2.4 if you use equal transmit powers. So your 2.4 will be flooded and 5 gigahertz will be underutilized. And while I realize that this situation is getting better all the time as new clients come out and new drivers come out, it still seems to be the case. We looked at the base Android code that's current, not saying Samsung uses that necessarily, but it's not pretty. It has a very, very small preference for 5 gigahertz. All I'm saying, Apple is leading the pack and kind of trying to gravitate the clients more towards 5 gigahertz, but it's still a problem that exists. One last thing, talk about asking for help. If any of you guys have, we are making a feature which improves the automatic placement of access points after the surveys. So if you have project files where you have moved the access points to their actual locations precisely, I would very much, and we would very much like to see those to optimize our AP placement algorithm to be more accurate and better in the future. We realize it's not perfect, so that's it. I'm 25 seconds over. Thank you so much for your attention.